We have covered the data modeling, right? So today we'll be discussing about the process modeling in MDG. Okay. So what is a change request? So a change request is nothing but like whenever you want to do any action on the master data, you need to create it using a change request, like create or update. You have to do all those actions using the change request only. Without change request, we cannot create the master data in MDG. Okay, so how we can create the change request? So we have a we can define different types of change request types for our data model, and then using those change request types we can create the change request. Okay, like the users or the requesters, they can create the change request. So how we define the change request types? Okay, so here in the process modeling we have change request. Okay, in this change request we have create change request type. So create change request type. I am just going to the create change request type. And here in this create change request type, we have different types of change requests. So these are all the change request types given by SAP. So these are all standard change request types. Okay. So BP, BP, all these BP related change requests are for BP data model. Okay. So here you can see the data model defined for this change request type is BP. So all these are BP related change request types. So here we have CUST1P2. So this is CUST is for the customer, but the data model is same BP only, business partner. Next we have MAT01. So MAT is for material, data model. So these are all the change request types we have for data model. Okay. So here you can see MAT01. So this is for creation of the material. MAT02. This is for updation, like change or processing of the material. So here you can see the change request type with data model. So here MAT01 is for data model, and here we will have the description of the change request type. Okay. So next here we
ఆల్రెడీ ఎవడో గుద్దాడు వాడిని పోరన్ని బండి రోడ్డు మీద పడిపోయింది వాడు
So here we have single object column, right? You can see the single object column. What does this mean is, so here MAT01 with change request type, it is mainly used for only single object. Using this MAT01 change request type, at a time we can create only one record of the master data. Like we can create or change or any action, whatever we are doing, that is only for the single record. Okay. So here the main entity type for this MAT01 CR type is material. So material is the main entity type for this change request type. Next we have workflow defined here. So here you can see different workflow numbers. So these we call as workflow template numbers. Okay. So here for each change request type we have different workflow templates defined here. But in MDG, the main workflow template which is used, which is being used now is rule based workflow. That is nothing but WS60800086 template. So this 86 template workflow we are currently using, and it is um, like many of the organizations, like in many of the implementations, the we are using the 86 workflow template. So this is rule based workflow template. So this is given by SAP, running which is running good now. So most of the people are using this workflow template. Okay, so remember this workflow template. Okay, next we have different options like UA application name, UA configuration, and all those information we have. Okay, so mainly what is a change request type is like whenever you are trying to create or change or deletion or blocking of any master data, you need to create you need to do it through a change request only. So to do that via change request, we need a change request type. Okay, so for each data model, we'll be having different types of change request types. So why we have different types of change request types is, so here in master data, what are all the operations we can do? Like we can create the master data, we can update the master data, that is nothing but processing the master data. Like you already have a master data record, like M1 material you already have. So you want to change the M1 materials description, then you have to do it through processing of the master data, like to process action we have to do that. Next we have delete or block unblock. So like that, we have different types of actions for master data mass processing. Like that, we have different types of master data actions. So to perform all those actions, we have logical actions defined in the system. So to assign those and to have a differentiation between those actions, SAP has given change request types. Okay, so based on these change request types, we can check whether it is for the creation or updation or deletion or block unblock. Okay, where we can see that, like where we have to configure that is, so here you have the uh, change request types in this path, right? Process modeling, workflow, and under like change request, under the change request we have create change request type. Okay, so before above this change request, we have business activities. Okay, so what business activities we have is logical actions. So this logical action defines whatever the action you want to perform on the master data. Okay, so this logical action plays the main role in the action while doing the any action to the master data. Like here we have SAP has provided some standard logical actions, that is block, change, cleanse, copy, create, delete, display, load, mask. Like this, we have different types of logical actions defined here. Okay. So we can use these logical actions. So where we define, like where we connect this logical action to change request type is, first we'll assign this logical action to the business activity. Okay. So each business activity will have one logical action defined. So here, and yesterday we have discussed about the business object type, right? So in the class, I just told you that business object type is the main key, like main object which will be used throughout the process of MDG. Like in the like in the data modeling, what we will do, will create a structure for our data. Like for our master data, will create a structure for our data model. So that is that structuring part we'll do in the data modeling. So how we connect those structures with UI modeling and the process modeling is based on the business object type. Okay, yesterday we have seen different types of business object types, like 194. Yesterday we have seen data model. For that, we have the business object type 194. Let me show you that again. Okay, so in the classic mode, central governance, in the general settings, we have data modeling. In this data modeling, edit data model. Okay, so we have this and entity types. So for what's the main entity type? Material. So material has business object type 194. Okay, so now let's see 194 in this business activity. Okay, so So here we have 194. So this business object type links to data model. So MAT1, MAT2, MAT3, 6A, B, like this we have different business activities defined for 194 object type. So these activities we can use for the these business activities we can use for the change request types related to data model. Okay. So here MAT01, this is for create material and the data model is and this is just a description and object business object type 194. Next, log action. What is the log action for MAT1? Create. So this business activity will be used for the creation of the material. Okay, so this is nothing but this business activity will allow us to create new material. Like whenever we open the MM01 T code, through that we can create a new material, right? So using this business action, we can create a new material. Okay, next we have MAT2, that is for process material. It is nothing but changing the material. So one material will already available in the system, but we want to change the material, now like material description or unit of measure. Then we need one business activity defined for that. So here the logical action is change. So it is for the object type 194 and the logical action is change. So this MAT2 will act as MM02. Okay, so in normal SAP process, we have MM02 T code, right? So that T code will use for changing of the material. So first let me go to MM01. So MM01, it is for the creation of the material. So what this transaction will do, it will check whether the material we are giving is already available in the system or not. If it is not available with the information we are going to give, it will create the material in the in the database and it will update in the database table like Mara. Same like to change the material, like already available material, we have MM02. So MM02 is nothing but changing of material. So here we can give one material number, what material like for which material number we want to change the data. So this acts as the changing of material. So same like these two, these business activities will act. So based on this business object type and the logical action, it will act as like a creation or change for display. So here we have MAT3. This is for display. So in SAP, mainly all the T codes or actions will be like one. If it is having one, then it is mainly for the creation of any process or any object or anything. And next we have two. So two is nothing but changing of already existing object or process. Next we have three. So three is used for displaying of that object or the process. Okay, so in T codes also we'll have like that only. Like for material creation we have MM01, and for material change MM02, and for material display we have MM03. Like that we have VA01, VA02 for order creation, order change. Like that we have different types of transactions, but like one is for creation, two is for change, three is for display. Okay, so like that we have different types of business actions. Like six, it is for marking for the material for deletion, and A we have like process multiple materials. So here we have the logical action mass. So this mass logical action, what it will do, it can process multiple materials at a time. Okay. So if you want to have multiple materials process or create or delete, like mark for deletion, like that, if you can use this process multiple materials. Like you can change multiple materials using this a business activity. Okay, so till now it is clear, right? So how we are going to uh, configure like make a linkage between logical action and business activity is, in the business activity definition, will assign the business activity with logical action and the business object type. Okay, so now we have a business activity created or defined. Now, how this business activity is linked to change request type is, in the change request types, create change request type. Okay, so here we have different types of change request types. So let's see the material related only. So material related we have MAT01. So MAT01 is the change request type and MAT1 is business activity. So how this change request type is linked to that business activity is, here we have business activity, right? So here for MAT01 change request type, we have defined the business activity MAT1. So these are all standard only. SAP has given all these. So for MAT01 change request type, the business activity is MAT1. That is creation of material. So this change request type will only be used for the creation of material. Okay, MAT01. Next we have MAT02. So what is the business activity for this one? MAT2. This is for processing of the material. So MAT02 change request type will only used for the processing of the material. Okay. So this is how we'll configure the logical action business activity and we'll link that business activity to the change request type. Okay. Any doubts still here?
No, Sadhana.
Anyone? Okay. Okay, good. Then okay, so let's discuss about the this template. Okay. Till now, everyone clear with what is logical action, what is business activity, and what is change request type, right? So now let's discuss uh, what is this workflow. Okay. So workflow is nothing but let's say like in just simple words, let's say um you are applying for admission into one university. Okay, so how you will apply for that admission? First you will go to the portal, that is nothing but our NWBC screen, and there you will fill the application, that is nothing but creating the change request. And after that application, like filling all the details of the application for admission, you will submit it, right? So that submit button, after that submit button, that application request, like application id, one application id will be generated, that is nothing but in our MDG one change request id or one change request number will be generated. And once you submit that application, it will be routed to the administration office, right? So here also, like once you submit that, it will go to one administration office, and after that once that administration office approves our application, then it will go to the department, or like let's say HOD or principal, like that it will go to different types of departments. So all this process will will say it as workflow. That is nothing but work is being flowed to other person or other action. Okay, so in SAP also, like in MDG also, we have workflow. So we can define the workflow, like once we submit the CR, to whom that CR has to route, and after that whom it has to route. So all these steps, all these information or process will be handled by workflow. Okay, so in MDG currently we are mainly using the workflow template 86. This is for rule based workflow. Okay, so what is rule based workflow? So SAP has provided one workflow template that is based on some rules. You can define your workflow. So whatever the steps you want to put, you can define those steps, and you can assign the users whom you want to send the change request, or whom you want to involve in the workflow process. Those all steps and all the user um, assignment and non-user assignment, you can do it in the workflow, rule based workflow decision tables. Okay, so let me check if I'm able to go to the rule based workflow or not. So to go to the rule based workflow, we have two options. One is using the transaction code, or one is using the path. So first let's go using the T code. That is USMD SSW underscore rule. Maybe it's not working. Yeah, it's not working. So yeah, I'll try to fix this issue. But yeah, mm, let's see any other one we have. So now you got a got an idea what is workflow and why we are having workflow, right? Or anyone has doubts? Hmm? Is everyone clear? Okay. So yeah. So okay. Oh, it's not opening. So yeah. So here in the workflow, we discuss change request and business activities. Okay, so in the workflow, we have rule based workflow, right? Here we have rule based workflow. So here in when you click on this configure rule based workflow, it will route to that same T code. Okay, so here we have define change request. So today it's not working, right? So I'll just cover this change request steps and the service names, and tomorrow we'll check these baddies. These are all already we discussed in previous sessions, but I just want to revise it. Okay, so here we have define change request steps for workflow. What is this change request steps? So just now we have discussed, right? In workflow, we can define the steps. Like if the business wants to have a workflow, like a single step workflow. Once the change request is submitted, then it has to route to the CEO of that company, and if he approves it, then the data has to be activated and saved in the backend database tables. So if here only one step is required, like one process is required, then we can define it single step workflow. And also in workflows, we have two different types of workflows. One is sequential workflow and other is parallel workflow. So what is sequential workflow? Sequential workflow is nothing but let me open one Excel and show. So first, what is sequential workflow? So sequential workflow is nothing but if you want to have the workflow process in the sequential order, like one step after that other step, if you want to have it in the sequential order, then you can define the sequential workflow. Otherwise, we can define parallel workflow as well. So to have the parallel workflow, we have to define some conditions in the workflow decision tables, like we have to put some parameters there, and then we can use the parallel workflow. Okay, let me open one Excel sheet and show how the sequential and the parallel workflow is differentiated. So sequential workflow is nothing but These all we already discussed. If you all know it, just let me know. We can skip this. Okay. So in the sequential workflow, we can have n number of levels like level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4 up to level n we can have. Okay. Okay. So what is level 1 workflow? So it is nothing but single step. That is, so let's take Sadhana. I am the requester. So I have submitted the CR. Okay. Then it has to route to one approver. So here only single level, right? So we call them as, so here let's say submitted the CR and approve or activate the CR. So we have data steward who approves the like who is the final step approver. Okay. So let's say this is Vishnu. Then as this is the single step, I submitted the CR, and once Vishnu approves, then it will be activated and data will be stored in the active tables if it is reuse mode. Okay. Next, what is level 2? So this is two level workflow. That is, I have submitted the CR and then one approver. Next, activation. So here approver will be running and activation. Okay. So like this, we have two level workflow. That means two users has to perform the action. So next three level 4 like that we have n number of levels we can put based on the user requirement. Next we have parallel workflow. So parallel workflow is nothing but Sadhana has submitted the CR. Okay. Then it has to route to multiple people at a time, like multiple users at a time. That means, let's say, okay. So like this, we have four users involved in the one step. That means the workflow will be routed, like the CR will be routed to four people at a time. And we can define the next step. Like it can be again parallel workflow, or it can be just normal again the sequential order, or anything we can put. Like we can put one approver again, and then approver 2, and then final activation. Okay. So like this we can here we can put again parallel also we can put. So here we can put the conditions in the parallel workflow. Like if one person rejects the CR, then it has to be rerouted to the requester, like that. If two persons approved it, then it has to route to the next person. Like those all conditions we can define in our workflow. Okay. So is it clear? Okay. So let's
Yes, sir.
see. Yeah, what is this change request steps? So as we discussed this one, so here this will be the submission. After submission of the CR, all these will be considered as the steps. So here this is step 1, this is step 2, like that we can have multiple steps. Okay. So all these will configure here. Okay. So here define change request steps for the workflow. So here we'll define the change request steps for each change request type we want to use. So let's say MAT01. So here we have MAT01. Okay. So this is having 0. This is the processing. That is nothing but the starting initial step of the workflow. After that, we have 90 step. This is for the final check activation. Okay. So other then we have 91, 92, 93. All these are for revision. Like if this workflow here at the 90 step, it is not approved or activated, then it has to be go to revision, and it has to reroute to the requester, right? So all those information will process here. So we can define the steps, whatever the steps needed in our workflow, we can define here. And 99 is the completion of the workflow. So the starting of the workflow will be 00, and the completion will be 99. And we have 90, 91, 92, 93, 95. So these are all already defined. So if you want to add one more step, you can create one more step like step number 10 or step number 20, like that. You can define your own steps and you can assign here. Okay, in the order, like after 0, if you want to have 10, then you can insert one 10 step here, and after that 90 will be there. So like that you can define the workflow steps here. So here we have validation, right? This is nothing but it will validate the data and it will activate it in the system. Mm. So here we have define change request actions. So we are discussing user performs the action, uh, all those, right? What is action here in the workflow? That is nothing but user wants to approve it or reject it, all those information. So we have these actions: agree, disagree, approve, reject, finalize processing, resubmit, withdraw. Like that, we have different actions defined here. So if you want to have another like action, you can create it here using the new entries. Okay. Next, we have define change request step types and assign actions. So we have step type. So in the rule-based workflow, we'll define the step type for each step, and what that step type has to do is it is configured here. So if you assign the step type as 1 for your workflow step, then it will be having the actions like 01 and 02. That is agree, disagree. And you can give the sequence here. So when like if you people have gone through the CR like change request after the submission. If you are the approval, you will be seeing some buttons there, like approve button, reject button, all those buttons you will be seeing. So first, if you want to put the agree button, then you have to give it as 1. So the first button will come as agree, and the second button will come as disagree. So that sequence also you can maintain here. Okay. So like this, we have different step types defined, 1 to 9 and A and B. Okay. So this way we'll assign the step types and assign the actions. Next we have service names for rule-based workflow. Okay. So what is this service name will do? So if you want to do any action like other than SAP provided action, if you want to perform any other actions, or if you want to have any other configurations in your workflow, then you can define one service name there, and then using that service name you can write your own logic. So here we'll define the service names. So here it is empty, but we can create our own service names here, and we can use it in the rule based workflow. Okay. So yeah. So till now, any doubt till now?
No, sir.
If no doubts, we can close the session for today, because the in WBC and the rule-based workflows transactions are not working. Okay. Yeah. I'm just stopping the
Noted, sir.
recording.